my pretty, and your little dog, too.
It's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
This is Halloween, pumpkins scream in the dead of night.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a bonus episode of the Craft Parenting Podcast. My name is Joe Ludwig, and with me is my lovely wife and co-host, Caroline. How's it going, Caroline?
Crazy, but good?
Yeah.
I mean, the good isn't so much of a no, none of it is a question mark. It's crazy and good. A lot of the crazy things were not good, but we adapted and overcame.
Yes.
And now it's just lots of good things.
And we are joined once again by our wonderful friends, Bryan and Graham. How's it going, guys?
It's going well. Thanks for having us back.
Yeah.
I'm similar to Caroline. Crazy, but good.
Okay, that's good. Well, we are going to drink some seltzers, and I am not a huge fan of seltzers as far as I prefer beer. However, Urban Artifact has this fancy Trick or Treat pack. It's a 6-pack of tricks, 4 treats and 2 tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Did I say that
That
right?
is correct.
So we are going to try all 6 between the 4 of us, and they have really clever artwork,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll go through each one.
We will describe as best we can
Yeah.
some of these interesting creatures that may or may not exist depending upon your beliefs.
And this is a blind taste test, so we don't know what these are. So
I have heard people drink these on other podcasts, but I did not retain enough information to remember what the flavors were, and they never specified words like names with flavors. So I know it's going to be good, but I don't know what it's going to be.
all right. Well, we've had this pack for a while, so I'm excited to get
Mhm.
into it.
Would you like to hear the description
The description
for the pack?
Sure.
Are you brave enough to take the plunge and see what mysterious flavors lie in wait? Each Trick or Treat Hard Seltzer 6-pack contains 6 mystery flavors, all featuring exclusive cryptoid designs. 2 tricks, 4 treats. Pick some up and see what horrors await you.
All right.
Oh, snap.
So what is the first one we are going to try?
So we'll take turns on reading these, but the first one is from 1955 in Ohio. Noticing the salesman, that they wave their wand. Frogman. So he is 4 feet 2 inches tall, weighs 680,000 tadpoles, and interests include roller skating and spirituality. So we have a humanoid-shaped frog waving a stick and holding a trick-or-treat jack-o'-lantern. So we're going to crack this bad boy open.
Very crispy.
Oh, snap, it's green.
Ooh.
Eventually we will get better at pouring as I realize how much of this we need to put in each cup.
I'm probably okay with what I have.
Okay.
All right, so it's very fizzy, and it is green.
Oh, that bodes well.
It does have an
Which one do you
interesting
want?
smell.
Is that like green apple, maybe?
I don't...
Another one bites the dust.
Did we start off with a trick?
Yeah, when
We
they said
might have.
trick, I was like, is it like Bernie Bott's trick of like earwax?
It
Congratulations.
could
I think
be.
so, but I don't.
Did we just start off the bat with the worst one? I really
There
hope
we go.
so.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Oh,
Well,
it does smell really bad.
I was going to take a sip, but then you reacted, and I didn't want this coming out of my nose.
Ooh, is it jalapeno? I think it's jalapeno. Or like pepper.
Oh, I could get that.
Yeah,
I
it
get
is.
that.
unfortunately,
There's a little
the
bit burn.
smell is like formaldehyde and apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. The smell
and it
definitely
quite-
leaves a lot to be desired.
It almost burns your nose hairs off.
Do you think that's because it's old?
I don't think that's because it's old. Because we're going to talk about Urban Artifact through all of this. But I think we're just going to all
I'm
chug
getting
this
burned.
one.
I'm getting burned.
We think the jalapeno.
Yeah.
So we're going to chug this one real quick, though, and then move on to the next one and hope that this is one of the tricks. And then as we sip the next one, we can talk about Urban Artifact.
So we're chugging this.
I mean, you can dump it out if you want to.
Jalapeno.
Prost.
Nowhere to go but down.
Do you want a dump bucket? We can do that too.
Absolutely
No,
not.
make him drink it.
We're West Siders. We don't waste anything.
No.
Amen.
Yeah. It's not as bad as Slivovitz, but
It just went up my nose.
I tried to
Ooh.
describe Fireball to old people yesterday, and by old people I mean like people our parents' age. And I was
It's awful.
I was like, it's cinnamon liquor?
It's a bad idea, you guys.
But I was like,
Oh,
it's
God.
not as bad as Slivovitz, which is a Czech Republic liquor that we sometimes drink
Yugoslavia.
with club. Yeah, technically it's Yugoslavian, which doesn't exist anymore. And we sometimes drink it with club friends, and I will describe it as you're drinking a tree that is on fire.
Graham, did you want a water?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good job.
Do you need a chaser?
It's like any of the above alcohols we've just been talking about, I think would be preferable.
She absolutely started off with the worst trick, I think.
I hope so.
Yeah, what if this is one of the good flavors? Someone at Urban Artifact is like, we took a lot of time with that one.
If it burns, it's working.
I mean, I think they did take a lot of time. It tastes better than it smells.
That's. I mean, yeah, we've had pepper beers before.
Yeah.
So I get it's a thing.
So the Trick or Treat pack is something that Urban Artifact has done for a few years. Technically, though, this, according to the can, is Grayscale Brewing, which is Urban Artifact. But they typically do it with a beer. But this year, they decided to do it with seltzer because it's a lot easier to flavor a seltzer than it is to flavor a beer. So by doing seltzers, he's cleaning out your glass. By doing seltzers, you can get more of the flavor that they're trying to do without them having to put so much oomph into it.
And they got the pepper in that one.
They really did. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because now you
It's
can hear it.
very visual medium. I have gotten everyone some water.
Yeah,
I
so
rinsed everyone's glasses out.
I have my chaser of Rheingeist Sunspun Shandy because I'll be drinking that for quite a few podcasts since I have a 12-pack of it and Joe won't drink it. Tis the season for summer beers. Oh, excuse me.
Okay.
Who wants to pick the next
who wants
one?
to be brave and
I'd
pick
like
the
to
next
say
one?
that the average rating of that last beer on Untapped is 0.94.
Okay, that's probably the one because I know one of them was described as like a crime against humanity or something like that. This is probably that one. Though, like, I think if I had it described to me as jalapeno, like I'd be for that. And like to like cuvee it with something else, I think it'd be pretty
Maybe
good.
like pickle, spicy
yeah,
pickle.
like cuvee it with a pickle beer.
That sounds kind of yummy.
Because like so they've been doing this Trick or Treat for a while, and that's where their pickle beer came from. Because the
Oh, is
pickle
that where
beer
that
was
came from?
supposed to be a trick, but people liked it so much that then they had to make it come out every Christmas.
Interesting. We've had that one, right? Urban
had
Artifact
that,
pickle
of
beer.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
I have not had that one.
I'm gonna say that I could not drink a whole pint of it, but I appreciate that some people can.
I know people that love it. I am not
Alright.
one of those people.
Who wants to be brave and pick the next one?
So Brian wants to. Which one do you want?
The one in the middle.
Okay.
So this is 1735 New Jersey. She gave birth to a hooved, bat-winged creature,
Oh,
the
snap.
Jersey Devil. And this is not a hockey player, but a goat winged dragon dinosaur that is holding a trick-or-treat bag. It is 7 feet 3 inches, red eyes, 200 to 300 gabagools.
Gabagools.
And it particularly has an interest in skee ball and hanging out. Well, let's see how this goes.
Yep. You need the cup that's on the
Color is delightfully peach.
Yeah, that's more promising than the bright green. The bright green was mildly concerning.
I mean, it had a picture of a frog on it, you guys.
This is true.
Graham's taking a sniff.
I
what
don't
is
see any
that?
crazy faces, so. It's like bubble gum?
Yeah, I think it's bubblegum. That's what it is.
That's interesting. Now, the question is, will it taste like bubble gum? Because the other one tasted like jalapeno, but did not smell like jalapeno. But it was jalapeno business. and
Very,
it still
very
burns.
sweet. Smelling, at least. I didn't taste it yet.
No offense to the good people who enjoy bubblegum, but it reminds me of in like elementary school once a month they would do like the mandatory fluoride rinse program. I don't know if my Catholic school boys had to do that, but they would like come in and you would get this like little swish that you had to do once a month, and it kind of tastes like that.
They'd come with like the pink little pellets and you have to
Yeah.
chew, and they'd be like, this is how bad you're brushing.
Yeah.
It has a little orange to it, so it's like an orange bubble gum.
Yeah, but it's like is it the big bubble, whatever the like.
You got the double bubble.
Yeah, the double bubble, like the pink round in the like double twist package.
where the flavor lasts for like 15 seconds.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's gone, and it sticks to your teeth, and it sticks to your hair, and it sticks to your face. It makes great bubbles, but then you just have bubble gum everywhere.
What do you think? Treat or trick? Trick or treat?
Treat.
Yeah,
It's definitely a treat.
we'll see.
It's interesting. It's cool how they're able to do this, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's inventive.
Mm-hmm.
Way better than the first one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Though we'll have to go through those Untapped reviews for that first one later.
Flavor profile that pops up is bubblegum, fruity, orange. Someone called it tart. I don't know about that.
Not really getting a whole lot of tart from these.
No, it's not tart.
This was a much better average rating at, let me find it again, 2.82, so almost 2 points better than the last one. Unsurprising.
Yeah.
So, as a sidebar, we have friends who did Untapped at one point and now no longer do it just because they don't feel like managing it, or like they'll do it but they won't rate beers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Bryan.
Whose next check-in will be 4,500 uniques.
Yes. Where I recall him saying, "Oh yeah, we're about to go to the city, and every time, like I have like these 4 breweries that we're gonna hit, and we're each gonna get a flight at all of these breweries at a minimum, so I can get like 10 beers per brewery, and bump up those numbers."
Yeah. That's
you travel a lot.
I do travel a lot. I drink way less beer than I used to.
Yeah. Same.
But still plenty.
For sure.
I mean, I think I drank the Groom Under the Table at the wedding this weekend, so I don't think that I drink a lot until I drink a lot at one time, and I'm like, I've had more than you, and I'm still fine. It's those good Greek and German genes coming out.
I guess so. Oh man, we have 4 more. Can we handle that?
I think we
Yes.
we
Yeah.
got it.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we got this.
We have, according to this, I think we all agree, we have 3 more treats
Mhm.
and 1 more trick.
Mm-hmm.
So, Grammy
Brand.
gets to pick next.
Yeah, I want this guy.
The ghost. Do you want me to rinse out the cups or?
It's probably okay now.
I'm okay.
Okay, cool.
1966 West Virginia. Couple sees man-sized bird. Creature something. The Mothman.
Mothman. There's a Mothman festival every year.
It's kind of cute. So it's like this one's like a little ghost thing, and then it's got.
He's wearing a
big
little
wings.
sheet as a ghost costume.
Yeah, it's that like Charlie Brown ghost costume kind of thing.
Except he
with
only
big
has 2
wings.
eye holes instead of 20.
That's true. He has the appropriate number of eye holes. Good job, Mothman. 6'6". Weight. That's rude. You don't ask Mothman how much he weighs. His interests: ambient rock and structural engineering. I feel like you and Mothman would like probably be friends.
Oh, we'd be besties.
besties. There we go. Okay, let's crack it open.
There we go.
You gotta finish yours, Bryan.
The structural engineer better not be a trick.
Okay, the immediate color. I feel like, oh god.
Oh,
no.
Oh,
That is not promising.
that's like a sludge. Sludgy green. That's like from What Lies Beneath kind of thing.
It is like a greenish bluish purple.
Oh, that
so
looks
And there is a
dark.
weird,
it is
weird
very dark.
effervescent bubble pattern.
That's so sad.
Very potianic.
Maybe it's gonna be good though. Maybe that's their like trying to psych you out.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Can I take bets on like root beer or something?
Oh, that'd be kind of lovely.
Could be. Or like licorice.
Yeah, black licorice.
Okay. Is the can empty?
There's a splash in there for whoever loves this one.
It doesn't smell bad.
No.
It
And
doesn't
I'm
smell
getting
bad.
licorice and root beer, and I don't know which one's gonna
But
win
then there's
out.
also a hint of those little the little candy eggs,
Candy eggs,
jelly beans.
jelly beans.
Oh, like
Yeah,
the black
has to-
jelly beans?
Yeah.
No, there's the buttered popcorn jelly
Oh,
bean. That's what it,
yeah.
that's what it smells like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Werther's, but not a Werther's.
I'm smelling that.
I think you're right. I think it's buttered popcorn.
It certainly
know,
tastes
it's-
like that jelly bean,
It does.
which is
I like
always
this one.
always my least favorite
Well,
jelly bean.
We know who's finishing the can.
I mean, so if you like hold it up to the light, it's very hard to see through, but it kind of gets like a golden-y color, even though it's so dark.
Yeah.
There's a little bit left. Who wants it? Bryan gets it.
But it is kind of licoricey too. It's
Yeah.
It's definitely a treat. It's not. I mean, it's a tricky color.
Oh, you
Yeah.
think this is a treat?
Yeah, I think it's a treat.
Mm.
Oh, come on, compare this to the jalapeno. Let's go.
Yeah.
There's gonna be an earwax in there very shortly.
That's what I'm worried about.
I'm afraid.
Alas, earwax. So, while we're drinking
Hagrid?
this- to Hagrid. Oh, yeah.
Timely.
I
I
was
know,
bummed by
yeah.
that one.
Was he super old? How old was
He
he?
was 72.
Yeah,
That's
but like
not old.
he has the
It's too
adorable
young.
quote too, and like it was everywhere this weekend that like in 50 years time, like my kids, like my grandchildren will be watching Harry Potter. Like I won't be there, but Hagrid will be. And it's like your heart breaks when he says that, but you're like, it's true. Because kids are still growing up with it.
Yeah, I mean actors and writers and anyone who does like creative things. I feel like they can have a God complex in that way.
Yeah. Well, and like James
Where-
Earl Jones just signed over his voice.
I saw that. It's gonna be
So-
like AI now, right? It's like a
Yeah. So
robot.
Darth Vader will always sound like Darth Vader.
Yeah,
won't be
it's getting
recast by
weird.
someone
you
else.
guys. Like technology
weird.
is getting weird. I feel old saying that. Did you see the? This is a sidebar. Did you see that Joe Rogan, an AI version of Joe Rogan, interviewed an AI version of Steve Jobs?
No.
And it sounds conversational. It doesn't sound robotic.
It's getting close to where they can pass the Turing test.
If you could see me, I'm putting my lip up on one side.
I'm telling you, it's getting weird.
It's beginning of the end, man.
Some folks don't already even know what reality is, so the fact that there's alternatives is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. So back on topic. So Urban Artifact has been open since 2015, and they started off with long fermented barrel aged mixed culture beers, but they didn't sell great. So they focused on their fruit beers, which now they just call Midwest fruit tarts. They're getting away from saying beer anytime they mention their stuff, because it's a very bastardized version of a beer. There's like 3 hops in it. It's mostly just fruit and fermentation. Interesting. But this article that I'm reading from the Brewing Industry Guide, they she has a sassy quote in here that I need to find. Oh, so it's today Urban Artifact is one of the country's best known producers of heavily fruited kettle sour beers, and better yet, they're the kind that doesn't explode on the shelves because the fruit ferments out fully. Because they are not a brewery that adds fruit puree after fermentation and then claims that their beer is 5% because that's what it was before they added in the fruit puree. And now it's 2.5% actually and is not shelf stable. I am specifically calling out a brewery without calling it out.
There was a brewery where they had like beers exploding on the shelves. No kidding. I'll have to look
Like
this
it
up.
was a big thing. And like their slushy, because you can bleep it if you want to, but
Yeah.
you don't have to. Everybody knows.
Yeah. I'll bleep out the name.
Because they would add fruit puree after they fermented the beers to get their big slushy flavors.
Oh, we've had some of these.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
But they wouldn't since they didn't ferment out the sugars in the fruit, you had to put the cans in the fridge. And if they weren't refrigerated, odds are high they would explode.
That's amazing.
And even if they were refrigerated, there was still a chance that they would explode because there's so much fruit in them. But what ended up getting them was that since they added the fruit puree after their fermentation, they were checking their ABV at fermentation and then adding fruit puree. That is a very hard thing for me to say right now for some reason. And they were saying that it was like 5% ABV on the can, but it was actually like 2.5% ABV. So they were lying about what their content was on the can, which is a big no-no. Now they're a bit more shelf stable. They're still sought after, which I don't entirely get, but you do you, beer nerds.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say, I look at a beer menu and order the highest ABV on the menu, not the lowest.
Well, they were saying 5, but it was.
Yeah.
If I see 2.5 on a beer menu, I'm not ordering it no matter how good it sounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just a
really
waste of
light
money.
beer.
I mean, you're paying $7 for it, right? Because it's craft.
If I want fruit, I'll go to Finley Market
Yeah. One like,
or Birdcage.
yeah, or just get some Kool-Aid and like put a shot of tequila in a gallon of Kool-Aid and it'll be the same thing.
Well, anyway, this is somewhere between root beer and buttered popcorn, and the color's somewhere between blue, green, and caramel.
Yeah, but it's like hella dark
Yeah.
because that is very hard to see through.
That was a good pick.
That's a good pick. Joe, you're up.
I'm up. Oh, God. So we have 3 left.
Oh, what was this one rated on Untapped?
Oh, this is my 4500 beer.
Oh, man.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mothman.
Yeah, I want to hear the tasting notes as well.
So more about Urban Artifact while Bryan gets that all up is that because Urban Artifact switched from being very focused on beer and like beer styles to being more fruit forward and fruit tarts. Their tap room isn't necessarily the place where a bunch of like beer nerds will gather, or people won't really watch a baseball game. But like when you go to the menu, you're like, oh, that's a raspberry ale versus, oh, it's a Berliner Weiss. I have no idea what that means, but I know raspberry is going to taste like raspberry, or peach and strawberry is going to taste like peach and strawberry. And when they say tart, it's a little more easier for people to deal with than saying sour. Because sour, they want something that's really puckering, whereas tart is a little more gentle.
Yeah, it makes
So it's all about marketing and word choice.
So people are very, very split on this beer. It gets a 2.1. Some Jen D commented, "Is this a trick? What even is it?" The tasting notes are licorice, cola, star anise, minty, and ash. I don't get the ash, and I don't get the mint.
Yeah,
don't
but I
get
get the
either of
star
those.
anise, I think, when I think about it.
Yeah, it's
well,
licorice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could totally get anise and licorice, and cola makes sense because it kind of
That
tastes
kind
like
of root beer.
Yeah.
Well, there we
Oh
go.
well. Happy 4500 to me.
All right. So we have 3 more beers left. And one of them is a trick.
Maybe. Or this was a trick. I feel like we'll probably know when it's a trick.
Based on that first trick, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was a treat. And I'm going to say 2 treats and 1 trick. That's my opinion. And I'm going to go with the X, with the goat man with an X.
Oh, snap.
And this says 1980s Kentucky.
That's right down the river.
It's hypnotic. Oh, this is hard to read. It's hypnotic croon. Kept them frozen on the tracks. Goat man. 5% ABV. Picture of a goat with an X. You don't really get the man part. I guess he has hands.
He's bipedal, so he's on 2 legs.
He's on 2 legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess he has hands. Height, 8 feet. Weight, 310 pounds. Interests, carpentry, karaoke, and being the greatest of all time.
I feel like we would get along, except we would fight over who is the greatest of all time. I would totally win.
All right, here we go.
That was like the color of the beer.
It's like Goldie. It's like the same color as the
Very
table.
normal and reasonable color.
That might be tricky.
That's
Just
true.
saying.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the last one.
Mhm.
They're reeling you in.
Yeah. Because I don't know what they used. Like if they used any food coloring in these or if it was just all straight from the flavoring.
Good question.
I kind of like that. I think it's butterscotch.
It smells like butterscotch.
Oh, that definitely
yes.
smells like butterscotch.
Butterscotch
Yeah, I don't
off,
mind that.
off the nose, at least.
It's very sweet. Because it tastes like it smells like the butterbeer fudge that I make.
And just for your last question, it may contain natural and or artificial flavorings and may contain red 4 to yellow 6 or blue 1. So there is artificial coloring in these.
Okay. And so like the Frogman says the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very much like, hey, we're not saying exactly what these contain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say, I'm going to assume that these are all 5%, but we haven't been looking at, these are all 5% ABV,
Well,
which is your standard for
the more I
seltzer.
mix this up, the less it smells like butterscotch. So
To me, it tastes like it.
It tastes like
smells-
it's trying to be butterscotch.
I think it's
I
butterscotch.
like that. I like trying to. There's
Yeah.
something on the finish that's a little sour, maybe.
Yeah, but butterscotch is kind of hard to get,
Yeah.
unless it's actual butterscotch.
Yeah.
Probably something with that long caramelizing process.
Well, another treat for sure.
For sure. I think this is my favorite so far.
Yeah, it's actually kind of
Oh, for sure.
perfectly Halloween-y.
I like this one too.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. And none of these are like super seltzery. They're not like super bubbly, like in
No.
your face. Like,
This is also a 2.81, so one of the higher rated ones we've had. Butterscotch, caramel apple, maple.
I don't get any apple.
I don't get any apple. I could see maple.
Mm. Yeah, it tastes like those like maple leaf cookies you can get in Canada.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one that I was like, I could actually drink the entire can of that. I think that's the first one that I've thought that.
I think it's just hilarious that we started off with that jalapeno.
I mean, it is a memorable way to start the night.
It is a reaction podcast, isn't it, on this one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Eventually we will have a camera. Maybe. I don't know. Try and figure that one out.
You'll have to let both of us know we're very vain.
It's like, I'm not dressed for that tonight.
Nope.
That's what I told Joe. I was like, I don't dress for that.
We have a YouTube, so that this will go on YouTube, but
cool.
it'll just be an audio
Mm-hmm.
because some people like to listen on their TV.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you can listen on your TV.
I watch
You have almost 2,000
quote.
plays.
more YouTube on our TV than I do anywhere else these days. That's also because like Barney is on YouTube.
Mm.
Train videos are on YouTube. Plane videos are on YouTube. So it's just find one that's like an hour and a half and hit play and stop it whenever we feel like it.
Whenever you get the task accomplished that you needed to get done while the kids were being quiet.
Yeah. Or the kids are now
Usually-
hanging off the ceiling, so it's time to go do something outside, or
Yeah.
I don't have time to do anything else now.
They're pretty self-sufficient outside. I mean, they run around. They're fenced in,
Mm-hmm.
so they can climb up the swing set or whatever, the play place, and they go down the slide. Both of them do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lily actually goes up the rock wall.
She does go up the rock wall, and she doesn't pump her legs on the swing, but she can push herself back and then swing herself for a little bit.
Mhm.
So she's a huge fan of that.
They are becoming actual humans
I know.
right
Mhm.
before our very
It's kind of
eyes.
scary.
Actual personalities.
Yeah.
All right. So we said butterscotch, caramel-ish. You said maple cookie, maple.
Mm.
Somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah. I mean, it's yummy. Definitely not a trick.
A hangover in a glass for sure.
Out of all of them so far, this is one that I could drink like a half pint of. I don't know if
Mhm.
like, I'm really glad that we're splitting this between people, because I'm not sure if I could drink any of these like a full glass on my own. But also like I have to prioritize my beer drinking these days.
Yeah.
because it's very rare that I get to finish a beer unless we're recording a podcast. Because it's like, oh, I drank half a beer and then I fell asleep in bed with Lily. Well, that's dead now. Okay.
Hey everyone, Joe Ludwig here with the one and only Caroline.
Hey!
Before we get to the main topic of today's episode, we wanted to pause briefly and tell you about how you can support the show.
So if you enjoy listening to the podcast and reading our blog posts every week, then you now have the opportunity to support the show through Buy Me a Coffee. Here's what you need to know. It's super easy to do. You don't have to set up an account to contribute. You have options. Send us a one-time donation or sign up as a member to contribute on a monthly or yearly basis. Plus, you can unlock exclusive content.
To learn more about how you can support the Craft Parenting Podcast through Buy Me a Coffee, click the link in the show notes. And now, back to the show. All right, we have 2 more left.
El Chupacabra.
Caroline, left or right?
Right, because it's El Chupacabra.
All right.
1995, Puerto Rico. 8 sheep found dead, completely drained of blood. Chupacabra. Height, 3 feet 1 inch. Weight, 40 to 80 pounds. Interests, keto and psychedelics.
Yeah, man.
So it's just a chupacabra hanging out. It kind of looks like a possum without a tail.
Yeah, that's a good
I thought El
description.
Chupacabra was Sasquatch.
No.
I can confirm that
Yeti?
it does kind of look like a possum, but you know, Graham and I have a grapevine that grows up the side of our house and over our deck, and right as all the grapes ripen, we get this family of possums that tries to eat every single grape on the vine.
Oh, wow. Cool. So you have a literal grapevine.
We have a literal grapevine.
Yeah, the art.
Have you heard anything through your grapevine?
The wrestling of possums.
Yes, the wrestling of possums. Sometimes some carpenter bees. Sometimes
Squirrels.
There's some birds and squirrels that
Yeah.
you hear things, and then the occasional catty girl that likes to talk smack about Larkin, the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this one is definitely more like orange. I feel like the first one that was orange was probably a bit more peach. This
Yeah.
one's definitely like solidly orange.
Getting sun-kissed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like a starburst.
Yeah.
Starburst
Orange
vibes.
soda.
This one's definitely another treat. This one, I think,
Did you taste it?
yeah, I think this one's probably gonna be the best rated on Untapped.
I'd believe that.
I'm gonna make that call right now.
Well, I'm gonna rate it first, and then I'll go back and look. I try not to let others' opinions influence my own.
Sure.
Rate it
on
20
the
stars.
on the last one, as soon as I read apple and I tasted it, it was like, oh yeah, there's apple in there. It's a complete lie. There was not apple.
There
in
was
there.
no apple.
This tastes like those popsicles that you have over in the summer in like the plastic tubes.
Oh yeah,
That when you like melt it, this is what that tastes like.
yes. So Lily went and played with the neighbors across the street one day, and I was like, "Oh, it's really hot outside. Like, we'll bring over popsicles because we have a ton of those popsicles in our freezer." And so I tried the trick where like you crack it in half and then it breaks into 2 pieces, and it worked with one and not with the other because it has to be like super frozen in the middle for it to work and like just the right thickness. And one of the kids was like, "I don't think I haven't had this kind of popsicle before," and he's like 6, and I was like, "What?" This is what I grew up on.
Kids these days.
You are correct. This is a 3.03. So this is the highest
snap.
rated. Flavors are lime, orange, lemon, dry, and yuzu.
Yuzu.
I don't know what yuzu
Someone got
is.
very specific.
That's like
Yeah.
it's an Asian citrus. It's like
Yes.
the Japanese lime.
Oh.
Which I feel like that's literally someone that's like, oh, all the other citrus flavors got taken up. What can I say? Let's yuzu. Okay.
No, so, okay. No, I do like this one.
Yeah.
That's
This
funny.
one I would drink a full pint of. This
Yeah.
is-
Oh,
this
yeah.
is okay.
I'd buy a 6-pack of this by the pool.
This would be great by the pool.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
3 days later.
Which is good because I'm always worried about my dad driving home after that party.
So we only took an Uber to our car in a different parking garage, but that was still a big help. Of like, hey, we have a little bit more time too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I gave the driver a Mexican hot chocolate cookie.
Oh, did
I was
you?
like, do you want a cookie?
That's so
Like,
funny.
sure.
I remember that.
Somewhere out there, an Uber driver has had my cookies.
Yeah.
That makes me feel very happy.
Mm.
I want to say that you were proud of me because I actually shared. Because I'm an only child.
Yeah,
And those cookies are fucking good.
They
were
really
good.
are.
You did good work.
Thank you.
Yes, my husband is an insanely good baker.
I need to find the recipe and maybe attempt to make it, but also, can I just like pay you to make them for me?
Yeah, I'll do it.
'Cause I would totally pay for that.
3 days later.
IKEA
it's-
has lots of good furniture. IKEA.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say like Jim from Western Hills or something.
No.
Instead, no.
So there
you
is
went with Johan from Sweden.
So there is a chair that's free underneath the Western Bowl sign. It's upholstered. It just needs some legs and some light cleaning.
Oh my God.
So you can take off the 2 peni and fuck in orange spray paint.
That sounds like really artsy and stuff. Like I bet you could get good money for that. Like downtown urban chic.
Put that in the art museum.
Yeah,
I was going to
exactly.
make a joke about some couch I saw on Liberty the other day, but the penis and the fuck were way better than my joke.
So my
They
friend.
took a big wedding picture on
yeah,
the
my friend.
No.
My friend wanted photos in front of Ron's Roost in Western Bowl, big West Side Staples. And so we get out of the party bus, we take pictures in front of Western Bowl, and then we turn around and notice that there is a chair with no legs underneath the sign. And what is on the chair? And I'm like, I'm just going to go get a koozie and grab my seltzer that's in the bus. And I'm just going to hang out in the Western Bowl parking lot and have a drink while we wait to drive back to the church. West side, best side,
I guess so.
all right there.
Is that better or worse than sitting on the side of the highway or going to the Shell in North Bend and buying a brown paper bag?
I mean, I tell you, that was a very good time. Graham, you missed out. You were in Indonesia, I think.
I was.
Yeah.
But I hear the stories.
You do, yes.
See, I didn't need a brown paper bag because being a good West Sider, I had koozies in my purse. So I just grabbed a koozie from my purse, which reminds me I need to put koozies in the diaper bag.
Yes.
Okay.
Note to self.
And an emergency seltzer of this
Yes.
The chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the record, I picked the best one so far.
Yeah.
You have. You have, which means
And
either-
the worst, right? Did you pick the first one as well?
I didn't pick the first one. It was handed to me.
Your fault. Well, hand me the last one. Let's get going on this one. See what's All right. This is the 1930s in the Amazon. The sound of its call shook the forest itself. The Mapinguari.
I think that is a noble attempt at that. Yeah, I think
Let me see.
that's closer than anyone else is gonna
That's
get.
probably pretty close.
Yeah.
Mapinguari.
Yeah.
Mapinguari.
I have not either. Like, I've heard of Mothman and Chupacabra.
I can see that there's a
Frogman and Goatman make sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let me describe to you this creature. It is a gorilla-esque, almost bear, almost Sasquatch-esque creature with almost no neck, very sharp claws, and a very sharp-toothed mouth where its sternum should be, with a little cute little one on its back wearing a Halloween rabbit costume.
Oh, is it baby wearing? Yeah. It's baby wearing. That's cute. It's a very good parent.
It's a very good parent. The mane looks horribly mean, and the little kid looks very cute. This creature is 6 feet 6 inches. It weighs a lot. And its interests are long hikes and parkour.
Parkour.
Oh,
I can get behind the long
crispy.
hikes.
Very crispy.
I'm trying to find someone to go out to the country with me next weekend because I'm just like, Joe has his brother's bachelor party And I'm like, but I'm not doing anything all weekend. And I want to go hiking in the trees and the fall weather and the stuff that's going to make it hard for me to breathe because it's allergies. But like, I don't care because it's gorgeous outside right now.
What are you doing for the bachelor party?
Topgolf.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I did Topgolf at a conference in Ontario, California.
Oh, snap.
Oh, wow.
I'm awful at golf.
I am too.
Topgolf is okay.
It was pretty neat. Whether the surroundings are cool and the program is cool, I'm still awful at golf.
At least there's beer.
So I'm getting like orange crush vibes. Or like Sunkissed.
Yeah, so this is
There's a
definitely,
little
this is
sour note in here, too.
This
though.
is solid orange.
I think it's yuzu. Put that on the untapped notes. Say it tastes like yuzu.
Get some dragon fruit.
It does smell a lot. It does smell fruity and sour.
Yeah. Orange Crush. I get Orange Crush.
Yeah. Okay, so that one, was it Mothman?
I think it was Mothman.
The buttered popcorn.
Yeah, that was
Licorice
probably a
one.
trick.
Yes, it was a trick.
Yeah, but it wasn't terrible. Now, Frogman,
It was terrible.
we definitely started off with the worst one.
That's true.
we did.
I could drink like half to a full pint of this.
It's very good.
It's very dry on the back end, and the flavor kind of goes away.
Yeah. So, can we just talk about how grayscale brewing is apparently a thing?
It doesn't show up on Untapped. People have just been checking it as Urban Artifact instead.
Well, because if you Google it, it totally, like, it's, so, like, if I put in grayscale brewing, like, it's Urban Artifact and it's Urban Artifact's address. So it's like a
different company.
Subsidiary.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a, hey, we don't typically do like just straight seltzers, so we'll let them do seltzers.
Exactly.
But it could be the name of an old, no, that's something completely different because that's a different city. Because we have so many old breweries in Cincinnati that it's like.
Oh, you think it had maybe once upon a time it had been one?
But it's not one that I've heard of before, and I usually recall like, oh, that sounds like a thing that I've heard of before.
Maybe it's that none of these flavors particularly speak to anything in particular.
Mm-hmm.
They're always like a blend and a mash, and there's no black and white. This is not this flavor. It's like 27 things in one.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I had some Urban Artifact beer in the, like, because I had some Urban Artifact seltzers at one point. I wish I still had a can in the fridge so I could be like, does this say Urban Artifact or does it say Grayscale?
So this beer does have a 2.97. It is the second highest rated.
Mm-hmm.
Orange, fruity, blood orange, light, and cherry. And I can actually see a little bit of the cherry.
I can understand why people would do that.
It's got a little tartness in it that you might associate with cherry. Not convinced. It's orange, blood orange, and very light.
Yeah, I don't know I don't drink enough blood orange things to know what blood orange is, but I can see blood orange.
Oh, I have drank enough blood orange things for both of us.
Okay.
Because that's usually like, if anything's blood orange, I'm like, yes, that please.
Flat orange cola.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Let's get
Sunkissed.
Keenan and Kel up here. Give me some orange cola,
Yep.
and it's flat. I'll drink it.
This was good. This was a good thing. And like
I
the
like
jalapeno,
this.
like I know why it's ranked so low because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. But like that could be a new pickle beer.
I feel like there's someone who would enjoy that.
Or like if you cuvee it with something else.
Yeah. So I out of my 4,500 check-ins, I don't know how many fives I have. But it's less than 0.1% or something like that. So I'm somewhere at like 45 or 50 perfect score beers. One of them is from Big Top Brewing in Sarasota, Florida. It was a honey jalapeno beer.
Oh, wow.
The flavor of jalapeno, a touch of the spice, and then the sweetness of the honey just smoothed it out. Graham was there. I mean, I tried to order it to my house. They didn't ship it. It was so good. The problem with that is that the nose was like formaldehyde.
Yeah. It was, 'cause it was like vinegar.
That nose was so bad. I don't care if the taste was just jalapeno. It smelled awful.
Yeah, like I don't know if that was them trying to like cover up the jalapeno or what. But because like we have there's a cucumber serrano goza that Westside does, and that's
Oh, I bet it's
really yummy.
delicious. Yeah.
It was really good. Yeah, the West. And I
I'd
don't-
offer you one, but I think I drank them all.
We did drink them all. They were really good. We try to rotate the beer fridge as much as possible.
But I still have a bunch of Christmas beer. We could do a Christmas beer episode tomorrow with Christmas beers from last year.
No, I think we have one West Side Christmas beer.
I think we've got a Krampus Cole. We probably have at least one Dad.
Krampus Cole is a seasonal.
You definitely have Krampus because I almost grabbed it for dinner.
Yeah, that's over a year old. Yeah, you can.
But it's still good.
Oh yeah,
Still-
stouts keep the stuff I drink. Keep.
Yeah.
You know, the Urban Artifact stuff. Like I had to drink that when you were pregnant because
It does not, because they use real fruit puree that they make
Yeah.
themselves, and now,
Their barrel aged, their old barrel aged stuff
Mhm.
goes forever.
yeah,
What they specialize in now doesn't necessarily last very long.
hmm oh, now they have contracts with growers in the Pacific Northwest, so they can make sure that they get the fruits that they want, and they're not having to compete with market prices. So they can just say, "Hey, these 4 acres are going to be the specific flavor of raspberry, and we're going to buy them all." So that's the thing that Urban Artifact does now. Read that in an article.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Would they be interested in buying the grapes off of our deck?
Limited
Maybe.
release, a single bottle.
They do have foragers collect pawpaws for them come this ish time.
I will say we had about 10 pounds of grapes.
wow.
I mean, you could do
off
something
of-
with that.
Urban Artifact, if you're listening, we have 10 pounds of grapes.
Yeah, once a year.
I'll
What kind of
share
grapes are they?
this in the group, and Brett is in the group.
Technically, our fermenter does wine as well. We just haven't tried to do that.
So we've been picking them and making preserves. So
That's a good thing to do with them.
And I have to give my mother 98% of that credit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, she picked it. We helped her sort it, and then she made it and canned it. And last year she did all of it. So
I mean, that's like something that I kind of want to get into is like, oh, let's go to an apple orchard and get a ton of apples, and we can like make our own apple butter and like
yeah,
make our own applesauce. And then I'm like, that just sounds like a lot of work that I don't necessarily have the time to do.
you don't. Yeah. You know how much I love to cook, and I think I've cooked 3 meals in 5 months.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe 4 or 5 meals, but in 5 months, yeah.
But are they bigger meals than you would normally cook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing that helps too. Because like, so my friend is in New Orleans for the Bengals game, and she's like, gumbo is delicious. And I'm like, girl, where have you been? She's like, I haven't had gumbo before. And I'm like, what? How have you not had gumbo before? Because like she moved out of Cincinnati in like 2015 and lives in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, how have you gone this long without having gumbo?
Yeah.
When I've had it in landlocked as hell Cincinnati.
Mhm.
Like, and I've made gumbo,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make it for sure.
which
You might want to edit this and add this to the next. So there is a brewery in downtown Detroit. It's in Corktown, which is basically like the OTR of Detroit. And the owner of this particular brewery is from Sycamore Township.
you
Yeah.
find Cincinnatians everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure
So this
Graham
was-
is figuring
yeah.
this one out.
Oh, very much.
So this place, this was in the Graham and I found this pre-COVID. I moved to this particular neighborhood in 2020 at the beginning of COVID for work because this brewery was there.
Nice.
Now they were closed for 3 or 4 months. They did some pickup service along the way. One of their items was gumbo.
Oh, snap.
A brewery owned by a white man in Detroit has no right making gumbo as good as this brewery's gumbo is. Batch Brewing in Corktown, Detroit, Michigan. The beer is phenomenal. Larkin, our dog, is on their Instagram, and their gumbo is phenomenal.
All right, shout out.
Delicious. Yes.
Yeah, I need to make it again, especially like now this time of year. It's perfect, but like it took forever for the roux.
Yes.
But it was a labor of love,
yeah.
and it was so worth it.
You actually just made some
I made
literally
some
a
last
couple
week.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
And the
might be
roux took forever.
it might be worth mentioning that the chef that cooks the gumbo is not a white man from Sycamore Township, Ohio.
Well, so there's a place in Cincinnati, and I think it's a chain that's like multiple places called J Gumbos.
Yeah.
And there used to be one near my work. And then they decided they were going to close it down, and they have the Chicken Mac truck. And like the Chicken Mac truck is okay. And like they still have gumbo as an option, but now it's gumbo on top of mac and cheese instead of gumbo on top of rice with their delicious garlic bread. And I was just like, like we literally had guys that would go there once a week.
Yeah, I forgot about J Gumbo's.
If they had like gone there on Monday and on Thursday, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about going to J Gumbo's today. They're like, okay, we'll go too. Even though they've been once that week already.
Yes.
And there's still one downtown, but it's downtown, and it's like only open for lunch.
Is it
that
still
the one downtown, or is that the one up in Clifton? Did that one close too?
I don't know.
I bet the one downtown closed.
So
Probably.
there's a Indian grocery store 2 doors up from where J Gumbo's used to be, maybe still is, right by the Ludlow skyline.
Yeah.
And I was up there picking up graham flour, which is brown chickpea flour, not normal chickpea, brown. And I walked out, and there was a wreck right in front of where J Gumbo's is.
I mean,
whatever.
since it's by UC, it probably still exists because
think
college
so.
students know good food.
Yes.
Usually.
Especially when it's inexpensive.
Drunk
Yeah, when it's
food.
inexpensive
Yeah.
and they're drunk.
Spicy
So.
food is good for
Mhm.
drunkenness.
Can confirm.
Yeah, I'm now I because there's one in Blue
Can
Ash.
we order Skyline and lots of hot sauce, please?
We probably have a can of Skyline in there
Probably.
with hot sauce and everything.
Okay, yeah. Do we
Bryan
need
and
to do
Graham,
anything?
thank you for joining us. We're gonna tie this up in a little bow. The 6-pack of Urban Artifact.
I mean, I would say like 4.5 treats and 1.5 tricks.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because it was questionable. Like I had to think about it,
Definitely the jalapeno was a trick.
but in the right context, without the vinegar smell,
Yeah.
would be an okay thing.
It wasn't terrible, but
No.
the smell was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
there.
bad.
Mothman, it was the color that was the trick. The flavor was perfectly fine.
Yeah, once you assign something to it.
Yes. And all the rest were delicious.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. So it's a nice start for Halloween. I'm looking forward to like I decided we're going to bite the bullet and we're not going to trick or treat in our neighborhood this year because there aren't enough people that participate. So it's like you have to go like every other or every like third or fourth house. And our children have little legs. And my mom moved into the quote old people's neighborhood because it's all landominiums and it's across a mildly busy road. So the word on the street is no one trick or treats there. But Joe's parents moved into a mixed house neighborhood, so it's all 2 stories and ranches.
It's a party neighborhood.
I'm hoping it's a party neighborhood.
No, it is because
Oh,
they're,
yeah, they
they're
get,
in
like-
they're in the Facebook group.
Yeah, and they get like there's like porch crawls and like, hey, come down to this fire pit tonight.
Oh.
So we're gonna go trick or treating in their neighborhood this
They
year.
live in Harrison now.
Yeah.
But both of our parents live in Harrison.
because the children have little legs.
Try not to sound so excited about that, Joe.
So
That's basically Indiana. I
Like-
mean, they're almost Hoosiers.
So my mom's neighborhood has 6 or 7 of her old neighbors from her old neighborhood in that neighborhood.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, so it's like people that she knows. And then Joe's aunt lives like a 5-minute walk from my mom. So now Joe's aunt and my mom spend a lot of time together.
Aw.
So like they carpooled to the bridal shower this weekend. And my mom dropped off her present for Lily when she couldn't come to the party. And I'm like, why do you have her? Oh, yeah, she lives like 20 doors down from you. This makes sense now. So they spend a lot of time together now.
Well, that's nice.
It is. And so now it's just like, okay, whenever we go, like now it's Christmas, we'll be, okay, we'll bring the dogs with us, drop the dogs off at Joe and Judy's house. So we can then go to my mom's house and then go back to Joe and Judy's house or figure it out. And just
Have your mom go to my mom's house.
yeah, well,
We'll let her do the work.
I attempted to invite my mom to your mom's house for Halloween, so we'll see whether or not that pans out, as far as like whether or not they come. But I'm like, we're gonna like do a big neighborhood trick or treat versus like our neighborhood of like we're gonna hit like 20 houses, even though we're gonna walk past like 40.
Grandma and I don't have kids. We have a dog who can't eat chocolate.
But you can eat his chocolate. We totally went trick or treating with Lily when
yeah.
she was like a month old. Now we only like hit like 5 houses, and it was like more to say hi to people. But I totally had plans to like take her around the neighborhood and get her candy.
I think it was too cold.
Can you imagine if we showed up with a dog for trick or treat and they're like, but where's the child? And I'm like, it's the dog.
Have you seen the video of the guy? Like, because you know the little like fake, like the little pretend kid statues that they have that are like holding out a basket.
Oh.
And there's the guy that went around trick or treating with one of those. So it had to be like a neighborhood where the people were a little more reserved because everybody was in their house. So he would just like set the kid on the porch, ring the doorbell, take 2 steps back, and they'd be like, "Hey, little dude." He's like, "He doesn't talk much," and trick or treated with the statue.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, and
You
people,
could have gone to Kroger instead of bought a statue, but
yeah, but like people get up in arms about like 17 or like 14-year-old kids trick or treating, and I'm like, would you rather they're running around your neighborhood trick or treating, or they're in somebody's basement getting wasted right now? Which of the two would you prefer? I'd rather give them a whole handful of candy.
Stay off the
And be
streets,
like,
kids.
You have
on
lots.
the streets. in
Yeah,
this
stay
case?
on the streets.
Stay on the streets.
Yeah.
I'd rather give them a whole handful of candy and be like, "Hey, yes, great, have lots of sugar." Versus, oh, you're like doing lines of coke off of some girl's butt in somebody's basement.
Wow. that is a very vivid imagery right there.
So
Do
a
you
little
not
more- a
remember
little
your
more-
childhood?
Not for that reason. No, but Graham and I have started a couple different. What we did, we have one main thing that we do on Halloween since we don't have kids, hopefully yet. Is that we actually, because everybody that has kids or grandkids doesn't go out to nice restaurants on Halloween, we get a reservation at a really nice restaurant that's hard to get into, and we do that instead.
Ooh, that's a good tradition.
It's turned out some really fantastic meals over the years.
You get great service.
You
There
do.
was one year that they actually called us up and asked us to not come because we were the
Only
only
reservation.
that day, and they're like, "Could you please just not, so we can just
Yeah.
be closed."
Come back
Yeah.
and we'll pay for half your meal.
That's
We're
right.
like,
Yeah. That was actually a
And we
really
did.
good gig.
We went back.
considered.
That was Jean Robert's table before they closed.
Well, and like you used to work in the restaurant business, so you know like the
sign us
margins
some
of like
chefs.
if you don't have more than 500 people that are going to walk in the door that day, there's zero reason why you
Nope.
need to open up.
And and we completely understanding. Yeah, send your people home. It's fine.
Well, because like
Yeah. I mean, as you
the
said, I was in the
people
food
our
industry.
age,
Yeah.
generally speaking, are a lot more understanding with stuff like that. Versus like there are times where like we go out with people like our parents' age and something goes wrong and they're all up in arms about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to get mad at the waitress because of something that the kitchen staff did. Like I'm going to tell the waitress, hey, the kitchen staff done mucked up. What are we going to do about this? Not go off on the poor waitress.
Yeah, but I mean, having been a waiter, there have been times when, the pizza table has been overrun with just orders. It's raining outside. It's 4th of July, whatever. People
Super Bowl weekend.
Well, 4th of July, Memorial Day,
Labor Day, Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween. If it rains, my God, the Roses is overrun with tickets. Sometimes it's, they're overrun, there's nothing I can do. Sometimes, I'm triple sat and I am putting in 3 tables orders at the same time. And sometimes, you get overrun. Sometimes you do make a mistake.
Oh, I'll still blame the kitchen staff. I won't blame the person that I'm working with face to face.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it is their fault. Sometimes it's not. I mean.
Oh, and speaking of Mothman in his Charlie Brown-esque costume, we are going as the Peanuts gang this year.
Oh, I love that.
So Joe's going to be Charlie Brown. I'm going to be Lucy. Lily is Sally. And Elliot is Linus. And this all started because Elliot is obsessed with his blanket. So we're like, oh, you're like Linus. And then, okay.
Mr. Thumbsucker.
Yeah, that is what we are for Halloween this year. Oh, my goodness, Christmas.
I love that.
But
I went to the Charles
Schultz.
Schultz Museum
Oh, yeah.
in Santa Rosa, California,
Oh,
as
nice.
part of a conference.
Nice.
The Peanuts Museum. It was really, really cool. Yeah, Snoopy was there.
Sweet.
Did the dogs go with you, or did they stay home?
The dogs will probably stay home.
That's a good idea.
Because if we leave all the lights off, hopefully there aren't. Well,
So now I know
We've
why
got-
every third house is empty.
we've got a whole new, we've got a new neighbor. We've got 3 new neighbors in houses that traditionally did not do trick or treat.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna do,
There's
but it's
a lot
still
of
half the
kids.
houses in the circle don't typically trick or treat. So if we leave the lights off and maybe like throw something on the TV or like probably just the radio, that'll hopefully help the dogs chill out. Definitely don't want to bring them to Joe's parents' house because there will be so many people and so much stuff going on that don't want to worry about that.
Mm.
I don't know.
But,
I think Graham and I have a black tie wedding before a Halloween party. So maybe we'll go as masquerading Phantom of the Opera folks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
so
That's about the only thing we have up our sleeves.
Get a mask.
yeah.
Or under
Bachelorette
our
party,
masks, if you will.
Halloween weekend.
Well, that'll
Just
be
being
fun.
just dressed in all black.
Oh, that's fun.
So, because like the bride's gonna be in white, and then we'll all be in black
Mhm.
dresses or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
so she'll pop, and we'll all look kind of classy.
Yeah.
There
But
we
I have
go.
to buy a dress for that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy a dress. That's like in a week.
2 weeks, so I have some time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crap, I need to do that. Thanks so much for listening. You can find us on all social medias at Craft Parenting Podcast. You can email us. You can visit our website. We have a Buy Me a Coffee. He's at Craft Parenting Joe on Instagram, and I am at Caroline Creates Crafts on Instagram. And thank you guys for listening. So we will see you next time, which will be on Thursday, because this is a bonus episode. Peace.